Hi, this is Snaily Snail. So today I thought I would share with you some of the New Year's resolutions that I made for myself and what plans I have in 2021. So I have my cell phone here because I emailed them to myself. My pop socket fell off, so now there's just like a empty hole in my life. I'm going to include some financial ones, and I don't want you to be too alarmed. First off, I want to save $40,000. So the whale and I were looking for a bigger home, one that can accommodate a bigger dog. We're hoping to move into a 2-bed, 2-bath, but things can change. Who knows? We might consider a single family home too. But then the whale said I had to learn how to drive, and I don't really want to get my license. And in 4 years, we hope to save $120,000. Well, that was his plan. And then my plan is to save, well, I want to match that 120,000, but my money is probably going to go more towards renovations and whatever needs to be done on the home afterwards. And then with whatever money left over, I'm thinking I could maybe buy him a car once we have a parking spot. We don't have a parking spot here, and I don't think we really need one in Chicago, but if we have a parking spot in the new place, then, like, why not? And I think the whale wants a Tesla, so we're just gonna hold off on that one. We have several years until, I don't know, Elon Musk comes out with a new design or something, and we'll probably have to figure out how to install a charger for the Tesla if we ever get it. With whatever money left over, I'm hoping to use it for a new home in Europe. So it's not going to actually be a home, but it's going to be for rental income. I've been looking into some of the laws for each country, and we have been looking into a lot of the homes. Technically, I do have enough to buy one already, but I just want to err on the side of caution and wait until I have enough for whatever expenses I have in America and in Europe. I don't know, like, in case the building falls apart and we lose all our equity. I've always just had like a pretty beefy savings account because it's really just like the whale and I here all by ourselves. We have no one else to really turn to for financial problems, so I just want to be safe when it comes to that stuff. But with our new place, I really don't want to do renovations because it's such a hassle to have to look after every single contractor, and they always underdeliver. They always claim that like they can fix all these things, and then when I finally get the end result, I'm like, what is this? So I don't want to have to go through that again. I probably will have to go through a little bit of renovation, but for our home, I want to just be able to move in turnkey. I just want to mention, I think I am going to be a little bit more aggressive with my investments. So I'm going to start doing more derivatives. I don't really want to talk about it because I don't want other people to just assume, oh, it's easy, and then lose a crap ton of money and then come after me. So that's all I'm going to say about it. My next goal is to travel to 2 countries in 2021. This will probably have to happen near the end of 2021. We have one trip planned for Amsterdam, but I'm not sure if we can get the vaccine in time, but we are able to get a full refund if something happens. And then I think we also have credits with some sort of hotel in Germany. I'm not sure. And then I don't have another place listed for the second country in 2021 because we kind of just pick out whichever one's cheapest. Most of my flights are like $300 per person, so we don't really spend that much when we go traveling. It's really on food and maybe the hotel. Even then, like, we stayed at a pod in Brooklyn, New York, and that was totally fine. So I don't really think it's worth it for us to be spending a crap ton of money on the hotel if we're not going to be staying at the hotel for that long, unless there are like very few choices to choose between. So for example, when I was in Luxembourg, it was between a 3-star hotel and a 5-star hotel, and the nightly rates were the same, and the 5-star hotel had breakfast included. So of course I'm going to choose the 5-star hotel. If we don't ever really get to visit the second country, I wouldn't be too mad. I would want to go to the aquarium in Atlanta, Georgia, probably also closer to the end of 2021 and just make it a weekend trip. And my third goal is to sleep earlier. So the whale and I, we wake up around like 6:30 to 7 every single morning. And even when I'm on break, he wakes me up super early. And I've been going to bed around like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. It's bad. And I've been taking really long naps in the afternoon. So I don't really want to do that anymore. So I think what I'm going to do is, especially in the wintertime, what I used to do when I lived back in Boston was I had the sunset mode. So with the lights, you can set it so it slowly gets brighter as it reaches your alarm time. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I think it worked for me. I don't know really why we don't do it in our current home. So I think that's what we're going to do, and probably establish a nighttime routine so that way like at 8:30 the lights dim and we know, okay, it's time. Yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, I turned that off. Oh, it's just like me causing myself problems. I used to also do a timer for the lights, but then it was really annoying. I think I also just want to have a more consistent sleeping schedule because sometimes I do work some crazy hours like 7 to 11 p.m. So I don't really want to feel sluggish the next day. And my last goal is just to continue reading. So what I've been doing is I always put myself on the hold list for every single recommended book that the Chicago Public Library suggests. And then I end up being number 370 something in line. So what ends up happening is that there's usually a constant flow of books that are always on the hold shelf for me. So then I'm always reading some different book and it's never overwhelming for me. Except maybe this time. This week I had an Eric Larson book. I read my first Eric Larson book during my senior year of high school, and it was Devil in the White City. So there was this long list of history books that you get to choose, and then you just have to read one and then write about it during the exam. And I, being the amazing senior that I am, decided to wait until the last 2 weeks, and it was a like 600-page book. So the really dumb part was I finished the book, but when I got to the exam room, I completely forgot the main character's name. So every single sentence was like the male protagonist. And then I think finally at like the last 5 minutes, I was like, oh, his name's William or something. It was a really basic name. There was one sentence where I finally call him by his actual name. Oh, I did not get any sleep the night before the exam. All right, so those are my New Year's resolutions for 2021. Let me know what yours are and if I should incorporate some more. I tend to stick to very few and easy ones. I don't want to overwhelm myself, and then I don't want it to interfere with my life. I just want it to like slowly and seamlessly just like blend in. That's what I'm hoping for. One year, my only resolution was just to floss regularly, and now it's part of my routine. So I think that helps. Like I've heard of some people who have like crazy amounts of resolutions, and then I asked them how many they completed and they said 0. So set yourself up for success. Don't overwhelm yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye. I can drive, I just choose not to for the safety of others. You've been in the car with me?
Yeah, I'm lucky to be alive.
I think I just get a little bit competitive when I'm driving.